Hi, my name is Gabrielle, and this is my podcast. Okay, so I have ADHD. It is not diagnosed, but if you spent a day in my life, you would know that that is so true. I go in circles. I will just start there, okay? So we got a new rental about 2 weeks ago. And in that rental, I have an area that is dedicated to candle making. I have been spending the last 2 weeks trying to figure out the design, buy the supplies and the equipment like the shelving and the desks. I bought a TV so I could still watch my YouTube episodes down here. But I am doing this first episode on ADHD because it is making it so hard for me to concentrate. I have these ideas, right? And I start going pretty good in that direction. I find myself feeling like it's going to be a really productive day. And so what happens though is while I'm watching the YouTube video about how to make a YouTube video, I'm looking at Facebook on a candle making group that I'm on, and I see something that is interesting. So I pause the video because at this point I'm not listening to it anyways. And then I remember I need to try and figure out how to do a podcast. And then I remember I want to do a YouTube. And then I realize that YouTube has podcasts. And then I find this guy named Kevin Colby who does podcasts on YouTube. And apparently he did other stuff like TV network in the past with Fox, and that doesn't even matter. What I was getting at was that he basically says just do it, right? He says make a list of as many possible ideas of a podcast that you can think of and then pick one. So I made a list, right? It's this is the list, and then this, and then this, okay? And so the one I picked for my first episode that I thought was suiting was trying to get anything done with ADHD in my candle making business. So I've poured 6 candles since I moved in 2 weeks ago. I finally got my 2 steel tables. I bought a microphone so that I'd sound better, but I can't even figure out how to set that up. I've test ran 2 different fragrances since I've moved into the new house. A lot of the candles I'm burning aren't even ones that I made because I just want to burn candles. This is one I made. My daughter gave me this vessel. I probably shouldn't be picking this up. That's not safe. So we're going to set it down. Another thing about me is I lose focus really, really easily. And when I do, I forget what I was even talking about. So I had made some points that I wanted to talk about in this video. And I apologize for saying I am trying to stop. The first point to talk about was I forget what I am doing and saying a lot. Sorry for ums. That's what it says. So yeah, when I'm in the middle of a sentence, a thought will pop up, and next thing I know, I don't even remember what I was just saying. Like, I was right in the middle of my sentence and I forget. If I go to get a pair of scissors to trim my wick to 1/8 to a quarter of an inch, I stumble upon, I don't know, a desk that hasn't been put together yet. So I grab that desk and I start to put that together. And then I see the pile of boxes next to it that needs to be broken down. And so then I start breaking down boxes, which that's not true. There's still a pile of boxes that I haven't touched. And then I realize that now that my steel tabletops are put together, I should start putting stuff away. And then I find a vessel that I haven't used yet. And I start thinking about, well, what wicks should I use for this vessel? And, it's been a month since I poured a candle. So what wax is it that I have in my wax melter right now? So those are just a couple of examples of what happens when I am trying to have a productive day. And my undiagnosed ADHD gets in the way because Lord have mercy that I could stay on track and stay focused. Keyword for me, I don't know if keyword is the right way to describe that, but it's happening. Okay. We call this pause for the cause. All right. So we're just going to carry on because I forget. Second thing for points to talk about is I try multitasking so I can't stay focused. I went to school for business management in 2015, and I graduated in 2017 with my associate's degree. I learned a lot, but at the time, what I had learned was I didn't want to manage any business. So I proceeded for the next 8 years approximately doing other professions, I guess. I worked as a bank teller for 6 years. I worked as an office manager at a dentist. I worked at a homeless shelter most recently. And I ended up, and I don't recommend doing this, I ended up quitting my current job at the homeless shelter. But when I was in college, I had a professor who said that there is no such thing as multitasking, that your brain can hold a maximum of 4 things at one time, and this might not be exact, so don't judge me, is your brain can hold a maximum of 4 things at one time. However, those 4 things, the attention that is being paid to each of those is evenly distributed, more or less, right? So 25% attention here, 25% attention here, 25 and 25, you get it, right? That's 100%. So the point is, multitasking is splitting your attention to different things. And that isn't actually helping accomplish anything, because try putting another thing, right? Five things on your agenda. Now, lucky number 1 over here, whoop, falls off. Try adding number 6. Number 2 falls off. So see, what's happening is we're still just left with 4 things on our mind that we're trying to do. And for me, particularly, I don't get any of it done at all. All right. See how I did manage to finish that thought? It took a second, but it's not easy. The third thing was rabbit holes. 20 plus tabs on phone. If I were to show you my screen on my phone right now and open up the tab section, there would probably be at least 5, but probably 10 or more tabs open. Because, say I start with Facebook and then somebody's candle store pops up and I like what their candles look like. So I click on their tab and I want to see their store because I want to see how their store is set up. And then I look to the bottom and it says Instagram. So I click on the Instagram tab and now I'm looking at their Instagram site and then the Instagram store. And then I remember that I wanted to buy a metal ruler so that I could measure the depth of the melt pool and that I could measure how big the flame is with a totally metal ruler. And so now I'm on Amazon. And then from Amazon, you're kind of getting where I'm going though, right? Is I go down a rabbit hole. And this is actually where I got the mustache. It came with my rulers. It's got a neat little conversion table on the back. Probably won't use it, but okay. So, say I go to open my tabs and I look at all those tabs. Now my brain is like, which one do I look at? I don't know. All of them. So this is my third day trying to do this video. This is my 5th attempt. I did one this morning where I did my makeup and my hair because I looked like and I didn't want to go on video or podcast looking or sounding like that. Okay, I can't do anything about the way I sound or the way my forehead does this, but I'm trying to be my authentic self and I am learning how to build a business from the ground up. I found a hobby that I absolutely love. It brought me peace in a time where I didn't have any. It brought me out of a depression, okay? And I found myself slowly forgetting that I wasn't happy. I found myself slowly forgetting that I hated myself. And I grew up with depression. I'm going to not go down that rabbit hole, but for me, I found such a love in candle making that that's what I want to do. Like, that is what I want to do. When we got this place and it had this 500 square foot room downstairs that I could have just for candle making and creating my business, well, let me just say I told my boyfriend, thank you for letting me have this room and not wanting to turn it into a ping pong airsoft pool table room. Thank you for supporting my dreams. Okay. I didn't think I'd get choked up at all. Should we do an counter? No, that would mean editing, and I'm not going to edit this video if I post it. Next on the list is I've never done this, but I did get my associate's degree in business management in 2017. All right, I kind of talked about that. I've never done this, episode number 1. I'm in the testing phases, wax, wicks, containers, all of it. Currently, I've tested coconut apricot wax because it has a shorter cure time. BW 924 is the only one I've used, but I also have one from California Candle Supply that I'm going to try. The first wax I used was Soy 10 from West Coast Candle Supply in Burlington, Washington. They are fabulous if you are looking for a great supplier who is friendly and knowledgeable. Shout out to Chris and Tracy because they were the very first ones that I went to when I decided to pour some candles. Soy 10, okay, first wax I used. It has a beautiful pour. It has great glass adhesion. The scent throw is great. Cold throw, hot throw, scent throw. That's my brain. Holds color beautifully. I will honestly probably go back to Soy 10 when I'm done testing the Golden Brand 464 wax that I bought from Midwest Fragrance Company. They're also really great. I don't know if that counts. Wicks. Ooh, that's another episode. Containers, diameters, melt pools, everything, right? So in the candle making world, if you change one thing, it changes everything. So if I change my wax, I need to stop lifting the candle. If I change my wax, I need to retest. If I change my wick, retest. Fragrance percent, retest. Vessel, retest. Color of the vessel, retest. Rabbit hole. Only change one thing at a time. Next was it relieved depression, gave me goals in my life that I'm excited for. That's another episode. My mic isn't even plugged in, laugh out loud. So I had the funny thought originally, one of my thoughts was I would just have my mic sitting here like so many do. But my mic wasn't going to be turned on. Mic check. Mic check. My boyfriend thinks I should get some of those Meta glasses that records video and audio so that we could do a video that's literally a day in my life. Obviously, not everything would be included, but to just see what ADHD does to my attention span or lack thereof. Random thoughts. Plenty of those. Like, subscribe, follow, and be patient with me while I figure things out. It's probably going to be my tagline. Be patient with me. I'm still figuring out the wax I want to use, the size vessels I want to use, my favorite fragrances, which I love shopping for, and setting up my candle making area. I could give you guys a quick tour, but we're not going to get all into that this time. Maybe I'll do that in my second episode. If you've managed to watch this far, I applaud you. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for, what would I say if I wanted to say, amusing me? Not thanks for amusing me. Thanks for, you know what I mean? Entertaining? No. Thanks for bearing with me. Yeah. Thanks for Alrighty. My name is Gabrielle Moore, and you've just sat through my first video podcast. Now I have to figure out how to post it. That was cringy. Remember all the things that kids in this generation would say, like the whole thing, and the flask, or the hydro flask, and the Crocs, and the cringe. Don't be cringe, Mom. Well, I am cringe. And that's okay. That's it. I'm done. No more random thoughts. At least for you.